He was holed up pretty good in there.
If it's an open water and I can't get it, you get it. But if it's holed up, I can get that too.
You came up and said he's too far up in there. What the hell am I supposed to think about that?
I knew he was going to come out
Oh my god. Alright, Princess, next one's yours. So, in part 1 of the Bahamas video, we cleaned up a few hogfish and made some fish tacos. Now, what do you do with those fish carcasses when you're done? You use them for an opportunity to capture some really cool shark footage. So we sink them near the boat, and I jump in, and I wait for the big old black tips to smell the carcass. These two black tips, one's about 5 feet, one's about 6 feet. They come in looking for our grub every single year. I can almost count on it being these two. Occasionally a nurse shark or the stingrays come in as well. But by and large, it's these two big old black tips that come in. First time I did this, I admit it is quite nerve-wracking, but you know, as you do it more and more, you realize that they're just out for the food. They don't want nothing to do with you. So, on to the business of our next meal. It is my favorite fish in the ocean, the coney grouper. These are literally, I don't know, it's probably not the right use of the word literally, but they are my favorite fish in the ocean. They're my favorite food in the ocean, for that matter. Close one with crab probably, but coney grouper are top 3 species I like to eat. There's a hogfish crossing right in front of this guy. Connor and I spot a couple of them on this little rock ledge right here, and we go down after them, and this thing pops out. We'd never seen one of these before. We know what they are. It's a deep water grouper, but they usually live well beyond our capabilities. I don't know what this guy was doing up here. Clearly he was lost and confused. He couldn't even find a spot to hole up. I looked up at Connor, you know, wondering, do we eat this or not? And couldn't get a definitive look from him on the surface, so I came up, and Connor hadn't shot a fish yet, so I wanted him to try to get one. And you can see Connor wears this crazy monofin. I think it's called a Luna set. Anyway, the fish tears off from Connor's spear, so, you know, rule number 1, once it's stuck, it's game on. And I go after this guy and finish off the job. He was pretty groggy from the shot that Connor put in him, and I just wanted to make sure he didn't get away. And when I turned around from bucketing my fish, I see that Connor got the coney grouper, and these 2 fish would be plenty of grub for us for that night.
That's a deep water grouper that you just don't hardly ever see. I've never seen one. What he's doing in shallow water, I don't know. He's very lost.
If he tastes good, we have a whole lifetime of disappointment ahead of us. I should add that the grouper we shot wasn't endangered, wasn't, you know, poisonous. There's nothing bad about it. You can eat them. You rarely get the opportunity to eat them. So we wanted that opportunity. We know we'd probably never ever get a chance to eat this fish again. It's time to get to the business of cooking, and we do this old school. These are southern style right here. This is Connor's way. Got some cornmeal, salt and pepper, I don't know, a little bit of spices in there. Bread them up, throw them in the canola oil. I know it sounds like you're just kind of deep frying the fish, but the truth is the layer around them just adds a little bit of salty flavor to them. You pretty much get the flavor of the fish coming straight through on that. I think this is probably Connor's favorite way to do it. My favorite way is coming up in this video, but that isn't to say I don't like this. This is awesome. Plus, the frying adds a few more calories, and while we're out here, you can use that. By the end of the trip, we actually get so calorie depleted that we have to take drastic steps, and that'll be coming up in part 3 of the Bahamas video. I've had fish at my local restaurants, and compared to the stuff I have out here, it's somewhere between the taste of low-grade dog food and circus animals. Seriously, you just don't know how good fish can taste until you've had it right out of the ocean. It's remarkable. It is the reason I go on these trips. I like free diving and the majesty of the ocean and all that mumbo jumbo. That's great, but the truth of the matter is I am there for the food. I'm a fisherman who dives, not a diver who fishes. And we throw the scraps into the water here. The remoras come to get it. If you don't know what remoras are, they are a suction fish that you see usually trailing big sharks and whales, that kind of stuff. There's 3 of them here on this big old turtle. This is either a green or a loggerhead on the bottom here. And that suction element is actually on the top of their head, so they have to flip upside down to stick to this turtle shell here. Remoras are a strange fish. I don't know. I get a kick out of them. They're weird. So next day, get up, get cruising, get in the water. And we don't actually just target all grouper species. There are a couple we kind of leave alone. One of them is the Nassau grouper. Their numbers have dwindled down quite a bit, so seeing these is a nice treat. And I'll use them as an opportunity to stalk a fish, and you can see him wedged underneath this coral head right here. This is a good sized one too. It's a big boy for a Nassau. But we leave these guys alone if us and other spear fishermen just, you know, leave them be for a few years, 10, 20 years, and see if they can't bounce back. It was Simon's turn to have his chance to put some fish in the boat. He tattoos this guy here in the forehead, and this thing runs off, and I kept my eye on it, saw where it holed up, pointed it to Simon, and here's where you're gonna see 2 sides of a story. I tell Simon where the fish is. Simon goes down, eyeballs it, he comes to the top, he tells me that the fish is holed up too far in there. I say, no way, Jose.
He's still there. We're gonna land this fish.
I know I can get it. He's got a Hawaiian sling. I got a pole spear. This gives me a lot more leverage with the pole spear. I go down, put one right into this bad boy, and as you expected, he thrashed all over heck and kicked up sand in my face. But I did rip this fish out. I got him to the top, and you could see Simon's annoyance right away. The ultimate goal is to just put fish in the boat, but come on, you know, we're dudes, we're guys, we're competitive. So Simon makes the claim when I get to the top that it was his fish.
This is my fish. I had it first.
Now I've told you the rule. The rule is once you put a mark on a fish, it's game on. Having not shot a fish yet, Simon really wanted one, and here's how that went down.
With a sling, we were just stuck in the hole. He wouldn't move anywhere.
Yeah, he was wedged in there. I really had to.
You should have let me get that, dude. I would have got it out. If it's an open water and I can't get it, you get it. But if it's holed up, I can get that too.
You came up and said he's too far up in there. What the hell am I supposed to think about that?
I knew he was going to come out
Oh
again.
my god. Alright, princess, next one's yours.
Okay.
So as you can see, I'm really sympathetic to Simon's plight. It's the way it is, man. Fish in the boat. That's rule number 1. All the rest is just boys being boys. But on the next dive, Simon gets his spear straight and puts this one right into the spine of a grouper, landing it easily.
Spot on shot. You hit him hard.
Yeah, I needed it after the last one.
But we needed just a little bit more grub, so Simon and Connor jump back in the water. This is actually Simon's camera recording on his wrist. And Connor gets us a rare treat. This is a stone crab, and you do not ever pass these up. I actually got one the year before. These things are, whoa, just delicious. They'd rival the best king crab you can find. Simon mixed up some kind of cocktail sauce. I'm not sure what it was. Connor and Simon both liked it. I just like crab being crab. I just want it plain, nothing on it. I don't think it needs anything. It's so damn good. It's like putting ketchup on a steak to me. You just, some things you just don't do. It's perfect by itself. But those 2 kids, they wanted their cocktail sauce, so whatever. Different strokes for different folks. So as we're wrapping things up and getting ready to head into shore, we see dorsal fins on the horizon. And we knew what they were right away. These are dolphins. I've never swam with dolphins in my life. So I jump in and just hit the afterburners going after these guys. These are bottlenose dolphins. They're big. They're a good-sized dolphin. And how you can distinguish these from spotted dolphins is bottlenose dolphins, besides being huge by comparison, they can move their necks. If you see these guys scanning for razorfish on the bottom of the ocean here, you can see them like bobbing their heads. What they're doing is they're using their sonar to look, so to speak, into the sand for these fish. These guys are on a mission here. These 2 are flat out getting dinner. They don't care one bit about us. But I did get this guy to come check me out just for a half a moment while he was getting his breath. Otherwise, these guys were not in the mood for socializing. It was dinner time and they had a job to do. Still very, very cool. So I wouldn't call this swimming with dolphins, maybe chasing after dolphins. And it was really remarkable to me how large these things were. We jump in the water willy-nilly with a dolphin that could easily kill us, more easily than any shark could. And don't think twice about it, because we just know that their nature is to not kill people. But it is in their nature to kick the crap out of other dolphins. So they definitely have their reasons to kill, but they keep them species specific, and we are not on the target list. Good for us, huh? And really, just look at the size of these things. I don't think I get my arms around this big gray beast. And we said goodbye to the bottlenoses, headed into our anchorage, and started cooking up our dinner. It's time to cook up those 2 groupers that Simon and I shot. So this is real simple. A little bit of butter, a little bit of onion and garlic in the pan, and then you just fry them right in that. This is my favorite way to cook fish. Because 1, it allows me to eat more fish because it's not as filling, and 2, it just allows the flavor of the fish to come out the most. When we cook them like this, man, I will do battle for that last piece. And all the credit to Simon, this guy knows how to cook fish. Almost everyone I know overcooks fish. They destroy it by taking it too far because they're, afraid of undercooking the fish. But the truth is, fish does not need to be cooked that long. Simon knew what he was doing, and this, oh man, knock your socks off. I'm actually getting hungry right now watching this old footage. Okay, and I thought there'd only be 2 parts to this video, but I have so much darn footage, I did so much that I'm going to break it into 3 pieces. So in part 3, coming up, I will show you guys, as I promised, how we deep dive, how we hold our breath as long as we do. We're also going to find them dolphins, swim around with them. I'm going to get a fish I never got before. We're going to eat some more meals, the most caloric fish meal actually on the entire menu. You'll see how to prepare it next time. Hope you dig this spearfishing stuff, guys. I really love it a lot. I know it's not exactly in the same niche as the rest of my channel, but it's something that I really enjoy. So I hope that comes through in the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the change of pace once in a while. As always, folks, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you at the next one.